Hi, Jesse. I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to meet you. So, if you could just kick off with a brief introduction to the film, what can audiences expect when they watch Allelujah?
So the audience can expect to laugh. It's very emotional, so maybe even cry at parts. But it is an emotional roller coaster a little bit. But I'm sure that everyone's going to hopefully enjoy it as much as I did when I saw it last weekend.
And of course, it was a really successful play before it became a film. Were you already familiar with the play, and what was the appeal for you in particular to play your character?
So I wasn't familiar with the play before I took the role, but then when I read the play, I thought it was hilarious. And my character, Nurse Pinkney, she's just a bubbly person that loves to connect. And she's so authentic on the page. I felt like she could have been my friend from school that I know that are nurses, or a family member. I really felt a connection with her because she's just beautifully written.
And did you have to do any kind of research, or how did you try and get into the playing that kind of role and working in a hospital?
Well, I absolutely took it upon myself to reach out to the nurses that are in my family and friends as well that I know that are nurses as well, just to get a real picture of what it is like to work. You know, I could do my research and did as well, like online and things like that, but I think it was important for me to connect with some real people working in the profession to kind of get a sense of that character.
And such an incredible cast. But I mean, right at the centre, Jennifer Saunders, Judi Dench. I mean, these are names we've all grown up with. What was it like being with them?
Grew up watching it. It was amazing to be around them and watch them work. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. They are masters of their craft. So to be able to be around them at this point in my career, I felt like I learned so much from them that I'm going to take forward for the rest of my life.
And I think films like this also show, it's dealing with sensitive subject matter, but with humour and kind of being frank and being unsentimental. So there's also something about the tone of this film that I think is really effective.
Yeah, I think, when things are quite sad, that's how you need to deal with it, with humour, because life isn't just dreary and down. It's people in difficult situations do make light of it the best that they can. So I feel like that approach just made it more authentic, and yeah.
And in particular, the Brits. Maybe that's something we're renowned for. Dealing with things with humour, I think.
Absolutely. So I feel like it really connects with Brits on that level.
Of course, right at the heart of it. I mean, this tribute to the NHS, which I think we've all always, appreciated the NHS. But of course, after the pandemic, it was brought under new light. And we can see time and time again it's under pressure. In that sense, what do you hope the takeaway is from a film like this?
I just hope that people kind of think about how much the NHS, our incredible NHS, looks after us. And it also needs to be looked after so it can provide the best care for us as well. So if this film can open up the conversation about how we can best take care of our NHS in their time of need, then I know that we would all be so thrilled that our film would be able to do that.
And of course, looking after our elderly, and perhaps not I think maybe there's a risk sometimes that the elderly get forgotten, and kind of actually spending time and celebrating our grandparents and whoever.
Well, I feel like we're all going to be elderly at some point, and we need to remember that taking care of our elderly and making sure that the structures that we work within take care of our elderly is investing in ourselves and our future. So if it can open up a conversation about that as well, then that would be an incredible outcome.
And can you tell us what you're going to be working on next, and how do you see the cinema and film, and TV landscape right now for roles, and particularly for young actresses of colour?
So at the moment I'm actually studying. I'm doing an MA at RCA, so I'm focusing on that, and I'm not sure when my next role will come, but I'm just hoping that this can kind of lift me off a little bit, and I'm ready to take opportunities that come my way. But I'm really just enjoying being in this and enjoying this moment.
And being in London at the film festival.
Yeah, exactly, it's incredible. It's something you think about happening in the future, but to actually be here is such an amazing feeling. Nurses do an incredible job, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for them. I was attracted to the role because I felt like she was so authentic on the page, Nurse Pinkney. I do have nurses in my family, and people that I went to school with that are nurses, and I reached out to them and spoke to them about how the job is. I felt like she could have been a family member or a girl that I went to school with. She was really close to home in that way, and just bubbly. She loves to connect, and I really loved that about her as a character. I have a moment that will stay with me for the rest of my life, I think. I don't have a speaking scene with Judi, but I did have a scene with her. My character, Nurse Pinkney, was changing the bedding, and Judi said that I looked cold. She kept saying, "Oh, you look freezing," and I was like, "I'm a little bit cold." And she had a hot water bottle, and she sat with me for a moment, and we shared a hot water bottle, which is just, saying how kind and lovely she is. But that was amazing for me. It feels fantastic. It feels absolutely out of this world. I'm so happy to be here, especially at this point in my career. It's incredible.